Hey, what's up everybody? GameDad here, coming at you guys with a brand new collection series. This time it is a two-part video showcasing my current Xbox collection. America's Army was released by Ubisoft in 2005 and is your typical military-style game. You've got a little bit of story and a lot of action. Unfortunately, my Xbox couldn't read the disc, so I have no capture available for it. Amped was released by Microsoft Studios in 2001 and is actually the first game that I ever owned on the console. I remember having a blast playing through every level and finding every secret that I could, all while rocking out to music that I had transferred onto my Xbox. While I never got into Amped 2, released by Microsoft Studios in 2003, when it first came out, I did have a lot of fun playing this game while capturing footage for this video. It hit the nostalgia feels just right, and I ended up playing this game a lot longer than I had originally intended to. Batman Dark Tomorrow was released by Kemco in 2003. As with most things Batman, this game is very dark and gritty, but this game wasn't exactly well received by fans. Unfortunately, my Xbox was having trouble reading the disc for the game, so I couldn't get any usable footage to show you. The Bard's Tale was released by Snowblind Studios in 2004 and is a great game on the Xbox. The game has many jokes and inappropriate or cheesy humor that just adds to the overall aesthetic of the game. With the music component as a spell option, this game also had unique mechanics for an RPG of that time. In Bloodwake, released by Stormfront Studios in 2001, you pilot a waterbound vessel while taking out enemies through onboard guns with unlimited ammo. The controls in this game take a little time to get used to, but if you want a game without a strong story where you can just go blow stuff up, then this game is for you. Brute Force was released by Digital Anvil in 2003 and was for all intents and purposes a Halo game before Halo 2 came out. With much of the same style in terms of gameplay mechanics, Brute Force did offer one new mechanic that really sold this game for me: squad-based combat with 3 other characters to choose from. Conker Live and Reloaded was released in 2005 by Rare and is what would be considered today as an HD remake. This takes everything you loved about Conker's Bad Fur Day and reskins it to make it look even better, while also adding Xbox Live content. Crash Nitro Kart was released in 2003 by Vicarious Visions and is basically Mario Kart but with Crash and the gang instead. Unlike many other copycat kart games, this one actually does a great job of keeping the content fresh and really engaging with the player. This game is a blast to play with friends. DDR Ultramix 3 was released by Konami in 2005. There really isn't much to say about this game. If you've ever played a DDR game, it's like the one you played. There isn't really much of a difference from game to game in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, they are fun at parties, but that's about it. Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate was released by Team Ninja in 2004 and is a revamped version of the original Dead or Alive 2. To me, it plays the same way as most fighting games, but it's still a fun one to have in the collection. Dead or Alive 3 was released by Team Ninja in 2001 and is a continuation of their wildly popular franchise. In this game, you're greeted with familiar gameplay mechanics, as well as some new characters and a graphics update. The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind was released by Bethesda in 2002 and is still a popular installment in the franchise today. While I wouldn't say that it hit the same level of fame that Skyrim did, this game definitely set the bar for what an epic open-world RPG should be like. I poured countless hours into this game when I was younger. Dungeons & Dragons Heroes was released by Atari in 2003 and takes the player on an epic D&D quest with one of 4 heroes to save the land from evil. In a sense, it's every RPG ever and actually has a D&D label on it. Fun game, but nothing earth-shattering. Family Guy video game was released by High Voltage Software in 2006, and I will admit I actually tracked the release of this one. That's how big of a Family Guy fan that I was. Was this the most amazing game that I had ever played? Not a chance. Was it still a lot of fun to play as my favorite Family Guy characters in a video game? You better believe it. Far Cry Instincts was released by Ubisoft in 2005 and is another fun installment in the Far Cry franchise. Stuck on an island, you must fight for survival while you see what the island has in store for you. With a much bigger arsenal than before, how long will you survive? Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter was released by Ubisoft in 2006 and is in my opinion when the franchise started to show fatigue. This franchise eventually died out. I wonder how long Call of Duty has left. Ghost Recon 2 was released by Red Storm Entertainment in 2004 and was a continuation of the then popular Ghost Recon game. This game featured much of the same as the first game, but with the usual upgrades you would expect in a sequel. Ghost Recon 2 Summit Strike was released by Red Storm Entertainment in 2005 and is in my mind more of just an expansion and a way for the company to make a few extra bucks without having to create a whole new game from the ground up. Half-Life 2 is an absolute masterpiece and is one of those rare occasions where the sequel is better than the original. The game was released by Valve in 2004 and throws you right back into action. There's a reason so many games use this engine to develop as their base platform. Halo Combat Evolved was released by Bungie in 2001. Let's face it, if you had an Xbox, it was all but guaranteed that you had this game. It set the bar for all FPS games to come and basically invented the multiplayer model that is still used today. This was the first of many games that would take the player on an epic journey through space to save all life. Halo 2 was released by Bungie in 2004 and took everything that you loved about the Halo universe and made it even better, especially the multiplayer. This game single-handedly, in my opinion, is the reason that Xbox Live exists today. Whether it was LAN or online, I was completely addicted to the multiplayer of this game and couldn't get enough of it. When the Halo 2 multiplayer map pack was released by Bungie in 2004, it was good and bad news. The bad news was that all of the glitches in the game that allowed things like the invisible staircase were now patched. The good news was that not only were existing maps revamped a bit, but new maps were included. This really added to the overall gameplay. Hitman Contracts is a continuation of the Hitman franchise and was released in 2004 by IO Interactive. This game takes on much of the same gameplay mechanics as other games in the franchise, but with predictable upgrades over its previous entries. Get a hit order, complete hit order, rinse and repeat. The House of the Dead 3 was released by Sega in 2002 and is a super fun game to play with the optional light gun accessory that is available for it. It plays just like the other House of the Dead games, but with a graphical update, better AI, and new location. IHRA Professional Drag Racing 2005 was one of those bargain bin titles that I found at a local Goodwill store. I was actually quite surprised to find out that it was actually Bethesda that released this game in late 2004, however, since it's not their usual kind of game. Jet Set Radio Future was released by Sega Sports R&D in 2002, and while this was not the first Xbox game that I had purchased, since that was Amped, it was actually my first Xbox game since it was bundled with my Xbox and a copy of Sega GT 2002. Despite this game being a pack-in title, it is actually extremely fun and takes everything you loved about the Dreamcast game to the Xbox. Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX 2 is in my mind the best BMX game to ever come out. Released by Activision in 2002, this game really capitalized on the BMX lifestyle of the time and improved dramatically over the first game. This game follows the model of a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game and is actually a lot of fun. So that is the first half of my current Xbox collection. Do any of you have a favorite Xbox game or a game that you have fond memories of? Let me know down in the comments below. Please also go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons and also hit that notification bell, that way you get alerted every time I got a new video coming out. Now as always, I'm GameDad and I thank you guys for watching. Catch you later.